we let the front office people know that they need nitrous, and they have to sign a consent form.
Consent form and a treatment plan.
Yes, for nitrous. And once all that is taken care of, and then we can put in the nitrous tanks.
Good.
So once they're good to go, we wheel this in. All of the tanks. I put it on the assistant area side and not doctor side. You have to hook everything up. So first I do the scavenger line. Every room has its own line. So this one happens to be at the bottom. So you put it in and you just barely open it.
Suction.
Yes.
Lever.
Yes. And then this one also has a minimum and max. Again, we just put it barely. So maybe, I don't know, a quarter like open here. Okay. Then we can open our tanks. So these should have tags on them so we know which one's in use and which one is not. But we don't have tags on them.
Good. What does the tag say?
So in use means it's the ones that we're using.
You've already opened that before.
Yes. And then there's a full tank, so that should be a brand new tank. Okay.
Good.
But I don't know which one is full and not. So I'm going to check and see which one is being used. So I'm just going to open them, and if I open them, if the gauge will move up, it means that there's still oxygen in there.
Good. Oxygen should be at 2,000 something parts per something, and see how that didn't go anywhere. That gauge did move. Can y'all see that? Yes. Okay. So that means that tank is empty. Now there may still be something,
yeah,
but if it didn't make the gauge move up, so
yeah. So this one's almost empty.
You can leave that open, but I wouldn't allow that to be your only one.
Yeah. So I'm going to close this one and see if this one's full.
Also, same.
Yeah, so that means we have to switch out our tank.
So the little ball went up, but that gauge went down. So there's enough in there to like make the pressure go up, but not enough to make the tank pressure go to move, right? So it should at least be at 1,000, but really the standard for oxygen is the 2,000.
Okay. That one moved a little bit. Oh my gosh.
Good. That one went up. Now, the nitrous, we should be using probably 3 to 1 as far as oxygen and nitrous. So the nitrous tank takes a heck of a lot longer to run out than oxygen does. So really, there's probably more in both of those oxygen tanks. That one in the back is probably full, but that's why we label them. So once we open them, especially the oxygen, we should label it as in use, and then we'll know that one should be in use and one should be full. Unless we're mid appointment, then we have the one open, the other one should be full, then we need to open both of them. Well, then we're going to assume that this other one is empty if we had to open the other one, right? So then, end of appointment, you'll change out the one that was in use prior, and then you'll have the in use on that one, and then you'll switch it out to where this one's full and that one's in use. Good. The other thing we want to make a note of is these straps down here. We need to make sure that those straps, anytime you switch it out, you want to keep those straps on there. Really, that's stabilizing it. If these tanks fall over, it's like a rocket.
Like a rocket.
It'll explode and it'll like shoot like a cartoon like across the office, and it can like bust into any of the equipment, people, windows, crazy stuff. So really, we have it stored next to the window. It really shouldn't be stored next to the window in case of tornado or storm or something like that. It really should be stored in like an interior closet, probably in a panel room or something like that. But unfortunately, that's just not where we store them. So, okay, good. Pretend like tanks are on and patients in the chair. So we've got those. Just pretend they're open.
Okay. Yeah. So again, I'll open them. Just open this one. So everything's open. Next, I put on our mask on the lines. Sometimes these are hard to get all the way in, so you need to try and push it as far in as you can.
Good. We want to make sure this little piece right here stays attached to the hoses. We've lost several of those, which is why they don't quite fit the same way. And then this mask is the part that's disposable. So
yes,
the masks are
it's
like
one-time use.
$5 each, but yeah, they're one-time use.
Okay, once the mask is all the way on, and then we put them on oxygen.
So this would be on the patient's nose. You want to make sure patient holds that in place on their nose after they have their glasses on. And then you kind of cinch them up, this part right here, cinch that up to where it doesn't move. Now, sometimes we can put little 2x2s here because it can kind of rub or leave little marks on their face. But really, this should have a really good seal onto the face. And if it doesn't, it's just not sitting the right way, or their face is angled the wrong way. So if it's leaking any air out of there, you can try to put like a 2x2 or something there. But really, the goal is to get a good seal with just this. Okay.
Right.
And then before I walk in the room, you're putting them on oxygen.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Where's the form that we need to fill out before?
The form is located in our filing folder, which says it's the right one. And there's a cheat sheet also. You see the cheat sheet?
Good. So it looks something like that.
And so we could probably ask them all these questions like after we put them on oxygen. Because oxygen has to be on for 5 minutes, like prior to nitrous.
Good. What's the big thing that you need to know before we say yes, it's okay that you do nitrous today?
Last time they ate.
Good. What are the letters? Anybody?
NPO.
Good. What does NPO mean?
Nothing for oral or something like that?
Yeah, no parenteral. NPO, last meal. So ideally, they don't have anything for like 6 hours prior. Usually, if they're coming in and wanting nitrous, they're not thinking about that. And so then we just let them know that anytime they have anything to eat with the nitrous, sometimes it'll upset their stomach, and we don't want them to get sick because then we got to clean it up. So I don't want to say you got to clean it up, but somebody got to clean it up. Okay.
I'm talking with their parent, and so I'll ask their parent like all this information.
So we need to have patient name, guardian that's with them.
The
consult is obviously going to be the day of for that. We don't usually do a pre-op for the nitrous, but that would be the same. We just put the date in there twice.
Yep.
And V. So written means like we physically hand them something. That's really what they're getting with their the consent. But really, we need to sending them home with something. And this is the pre-sedation, and then what to expect afterwards. Really, with the nitrous, there's not a whole lot other than maybe they have a headache, maybe they feel dizzy afterwards. If they feel dizzy, you better sit them back in the chair. But we put nitrous, and then who's going to be in the room. If the parent is staying in the room, the assistant that's there will put I like to have that on my side so we can write like time of oxygen on, time of nitrous on, we titrated to this percent, time off, patient left. We need to make sure that we also write in the patient left in good condition. Patient was alert, talking, responding, and our check. So we're checking all the equipment. So pre-procedure review, correct patient and procedure. So on the day of, so this was all beforehand. We're checking to make sure that they're healthy enough. Then when they come back, we're double checking to make sure has anything changed. Have you had? Oh yeah, I just had an last week. I saw you. You just never know what patients are going to tell you. Or yeah, I was in the hospital last week or whatever. So we're checking to make sure that okay, this is Mr. Smith, and this is the procedure that we're doing today before we get them on any medications. And equipment check. Is the nitrous unit working? Do we have the suction working? The scavenger in the suction. Emergency kit with reversals. We have always been checking our emergency kit with all the drugs. We know where the drugs are. It is available. Positive pressure oxygen available. We do have that as well, and we have our defibrillator that will alert us when it needs a new battery. If you ever hear some random beeping in the lab, look for it.